For the first one, a system of equations has one solution when the graphs of the lines do what? Intersect. Okay, it has no solutions when the lines are. And they have infinitely many solutions when the lines are on top of each other, are the same line. Any of those would work. Okay. Okay, these are the technical steps for substitution. They're more for your reference. We're not actually going to follow them. They're just if you're by yourself and you want to go through them, then that's what you need to do. Okay, so here's step 1. Here we go. Okay, so hopefully everyone saw that I did substitution. So now pay attention. Okay, so now tell what I did. Okay, so what did I do? So essentially I was solving for what letter? X. I was solving for X. Okay, so now person number 3. Recording and start recording.
Wait, what's next?
Person number 3.
Dots. What are they called? Dots? Just in general dots? Because they look like dots.
Okay, now this one was a little bit easier than maybe some other problems, but essentially step 3 is solving for the other variable. In this case, did I have to solve for y?
No, because they already gave us.
No, because they already gave us y. But essentially step 3 would be solving for whichever variable you're missing. Okay, and here's the last step, so watch and pay attention. So this is the last step. Okay, so now tell what was step 4. What is step 4? Okay, so step 4 is checking your solution. Now I realize you're not always going to check your answer because sometimes on practice and on homework you get bored of checking. However, when is the time that you should always check your answer? When it's a test or it's a quiz, okay? Now let's talk about negative 3, 3. If I graphed these two lines, where would they intersect? Negative 3, 3. So it shouldn't matter which method I use to solve it. The answer would always be
Negative 3.
negative 3, 3. Okay, now, okay, so person number 1, pay attention. Here we go. Step 1. Step 1.
3y equals -2. Okay.
Okay, so person number 1, explain what I just did. Okay, so person number 1, you should have used what word again? Substitution. Substitution. I substituted 6 minus y in place of x. So now person number 2, pay attention and follow along.
Be tricky.
Okay, so person number 2, explain. Okay, so what are some key words that person number 2 should have said? What was the first thing I did? It starts with a D.
Distribute.
Distribute. I distributed the negative 2, then combine like terms. But the whole goal of this step was to solve for what?
Y.
Y. Okay, so now I have Y. So now person 3, tell your group what I'm going to do next.
Oh, you are it. Oh, yeah.
What's that, Josh?
Okay, so now tell your group what I just did.
8, 10, 5, 9, 6.
So what was the goal of step 3? I already knew Y, but what's the goal of step 3?
Getting x.
I needed to solve for x. So 6 minus negative 10. What happens with minus minus?
Minus turns to positive.
Turns to positive. So 6 minus negative 10 is 16. So now person number 4, pay attention. So what's the purpose of step 4? What's the purpose of step 4? Checked it. Did it work? Yes. So where would these two lines intersect? 16, negative 10. Now, why would I choose not to graph them, though? Are they in y equals? No, so would these be easy to graph?
If you put them in y equals, yeah.
But then if I put it in y-equals, one of the y-intercepts would be 2/3. Is that easy? No. So does graphing work by hand all the time?
No.
No, it does not. You could do it on your calculator, but it would still require, but if you messed up solving for y, then your answer would be wrong, etc. Let's look at number 3. Before I can even do any substitution, what do I have to do? Either one. Pick one. You can either solve for x or solve for y. So you could either say y equals 3 minus x or x equals 3 minus y. Either one is fine. So you just pick one. I'm going to use this one. So when I go to substitute, I get 3 minus x plus 2x equals 4. 6 minus 2x plus 2x equals 4. So what happens to the negative 2x and positive 2x? 2 cops, 2 robbers, what happens?
They get caught.
They shoot each other. They cancel out.
They cancel out. They're gone.
Kill each other.
So 6 equals 4. Is that a true statement? Does 6 equal 4?
No.
No. So if it's not a true statement, if you ever get something that's not a true statement, what do you know about those lines?
That they're parallel.
They're parallel. They have no solution. Turns out that they are parallel lines.
Can't even do it.
Okay.
Number 4, my last answer was x equals x, and that's when I stopped.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so number 4. Ready to substitute?
Wait, it starts. On number 3, does that say 6 equals, and then what stuff, and then 4 equals 4?
I have 6 equals 4, yeah.
Ooh, it's frustrating.
Okay, so number 4. What happens to negative 7 and positive 7?
They become nothing.
They cancel out.
Okay, if I divide both sides by 3.
X equals 1.
Okay, x equals x. Is that true?
No. Yeah, of course. What are you talking about, Ray?
Okay, if x equals x, is that always true? 1 equal 1, 2 equal 2, 19 equal 19? So if it's always true, then what's the answer?
They're infinity.
Infinitely many.
They are infinity. Grammar, Josh.
Infinitely many solutions. Okay, what are our 2 variables?
L and W.
L and W. When I do an L, what do I have to, what kind of L? It has to be cursive. Otherwise, what does it look like? It looks like a 1. Okay, so L is length and W is width. Okay, what equation represents the relationship between the length and the width? So it says length equals 5 more than width. Technically, it should be W plus 5. Now, if I say 5 plus W, does that mean the same thing?
Yes.
However, if it was less than, if I had said 5 less than, would it matter what order I did it in?
Yes.
Yes, it would matter. So that's why more than and less than are turnaround words. So you should always turn it around. But it doesn't matter when it's addition, but it does matter when it's subtraction. So try to get in that habit. And then the perimeter area of, equation for perimeter is 2L plus 2W equals, in this case, what? 22. So now I'm going to use a substitution. And what am I going to substitute in place of L?
5. Wait, what did you
5
say?
minus, or W plus 5.
W plus 5 is going to be what I'm doing my substitution with. Okay, then I'm going to do some algebra. 2W plus 10 plus 2W equals 22. 4W plus 10 equals 22. 4W equals 12.
That means
W equals 3. 3 what?
3L.
No.
What was it?
3 what?
3W.
What are the units?
3 feet.
3 feet. If it doesn't give you any units, what do you say? 3 what?
Units.
Units. If it doesn't give units, you just say units. Okay, if the 3 feet, then what's the width? 3 plus 5, so 8 feet. Okay, so that is how we solve using substitution.